What I have for you next is so bizarre and ridiculous. Donald Trump did an interview on Meet the Press, the debut edition with Kristen Welker. She's replacing Chuck Todd on NBC News, and got asked about the UAW strike. And what I want to do is show you his response to that question, then show you Joe Biden speaking about the UAW strike. We talked about in a past segment, the United Auto Workers Union is going on strike, demanding, as they absolutely should, better pay, better benefits, and will continue to follow that. And Trump, in responding to a question about it, about which side he's on, he just gives the most discombobulated word salad you could possibly imagine. And then, as I said, let's contrast that with what Joe Biden had to say, very much to the point about the subject.
Let's talk about the economy. And I want to start by talking about this big standoff between the auto workers and the big three auto manufacturers. Yeah. My question for you, Mr. President, whose side are you on in this?
I'm on the side of making our country great. The auto workers are not going to have any jobs when you come right down to it, because if you take a look at what they're doing with electric cars are going to be made in China. The auto workers are not going to have any. I'll tell you what, the auto workers are being sold down the river by their leadership, and their leadership should endorse Trump. The reason is, you got to have choice. Like in school, I want school choice. I also want choice for cars. If somebody wants gasoline, if somebody wants all electric, they can do whatever they want. But they're destroying the consumer, and they're destroying the auto workers. The auto workers will not have any jobs, Kristen, because all of these cars are going to be made in China. The electric cars automatically are going to be made in China.
So let's talk about UAW.
So I don't know about you, but I didn't hear an answer to the question there. What is your take on the UAW strike? The demands being made from the union, the response from the executives, kind of where do you stand on that? And it's, the leadership of the union should endorse me, and I'm going to make America great, and electric cars and China. Doesn't exactly address the question asked. Now, there's a whole separate conversation that's interesting and important to have about making sure as we progress with green energy, we don't allow for those supply chains to be too dependent on other countries, 100%. But that doesn't address the question when it comes to this strike. And I will note, when it comes to manufacturing in the United States of America, Bidenomics, as it's called, has a really good record on that, super strong increases in manufacturing jobs. So apparently not too shabby to take the Biden approach. And on the subject of the Biden approach, here was his response to this strike.
Auto companies have seen record profits, including the last few years, because of the extraordinary skill and sacrifices of the UAW workers. Those record profits have not been shared fairly, in my view, with those workers. Just as the Treasury Department has released a report pointing out that the most comprehensive report ever dealing with how unions are good for both union workers and non-union workers and the overall economy. Unions raise workers' wages, they said, incomes, increase home ownership, increase retirement savings, increase access to critical benefits like sick leave.
And we talked about that report in a past segment. Kamala Harris led up a task force that commissioned a report that the Department of Treasury released about the benefits, the vast and massively impactful benefits of unions, and words such as that in support of efforts like this in favor of the well-being of workers, super important to come from the President of the United States. Obviously, actions are even more important. And that's what we're seeing, especially recently from the Biden administration. The NLRB under the Biden administration has made massive historic changes to the rules surrounding unionization that will strengthen and really breathe new life into the ability for workers to unionize. The article we talked about in a past segment, I think it was titled like "This is Incredible" or something on the YouTube channel if you want to find it. It has Biden's face as the thumbnail. But the title of this American Prospect article was that we talked about Biden's NLRB brings workers' rights back from the dead. A decision last Friday makes union organizing possible again and again. You can look back at that segment for my analysis and the breakdown, the details of the changes from the National Labor Relations Board. And so the rhetoric being strong, incredible, the actions being strong, incredible, and it can make such a big difference just having one singular pro-union president, which is what we have right now, And it's great to see that Biden's following through on one of the big promises of his campaign, that he would be one of the most pro-union presidents in American history. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to be a part of what makes this show possible, plus get access to the full video version of the show and get a bonus show on the weekends, you can do so by going to lukebeasleyshow.com/membership. That's lukebeasleyshow.com/membership, and there's a link in the description.